The NFL schedule is out for next season, and today we're going to have some fun with it. Hello, my name is Donald Lamb with Everything Football, and today we're going to do some predictions. I thought it would be fun to take all the Sunday night games from this year and predict who the winner is, give a score, and give a few thoughts on the game and why I'm predicting what I'm predicting. Now, making this video hopefully to not be super long, so we're just going to give a couple of reasons why I think that way. I'm going to tell you the point differential of the score and then give my guess on the winning team and potential score of the game. Our first Sunday night game is on September 12th. The Bears are going to LA to play the Rams. And last year, the Rams defense was number 1 in passing yards and 3rd in rushing yards. So I think they're going to limit the Bears offense to minimal ability, even with the acquire of Justin Fields. I think the Rams defense is still going to play the bigger impact. With Stafford on the Rams now, I think that's going to increase their offensive production, which the Bears aren't going to be able to handle. And it's going to be the first game of Justin Fields' career. So I would imagine the Bears haven't yet claimed who their starter is, but I'm just going to guess it's going to be Justin Fields. And I don't think he's going to have a solid performance in his first game. I think he's going to have to take some games to learn, just to learn a new league and how he has to be proficient in it. So this game, I'm going to say the point differential is going to be about 14 in LA's favor, so about 2 touchdowns. I'm going to go with the Rams winning 31-17. Most of these scores that I give out are probably going to be high because I'm an offensive guy, so I like to see points scored. They probably won't get that high, some of them, but that's just my own take. And like I said, I like seeing points, so I'm going to go in that direction. Next game for Sunday night is September 19th. Chiefs are going to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Last year, these teams played, and the Chiefs only gave up 1 offensive touchdown. In that same game, Mahomes threw for 385 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Great game. Probably defines on how Baltimore's pass defense was. I think the Chiefs are just too explosive. They haven't lost anything of last year. I think they're going to be fine. It's probably going to be a repeat of last year when these guys played. I would say the only way that the Ravens outplay the Chiefs is if Lamar Jackson has a better season in the passing game. Last season he struggled. The red zone percentage was really good, but just outside of that, he struggled in passing yards. I would say that's the only chance the Ravens have at winning this game. So I'm picking the Chiefs, another high-scoring offense, 31 to Baltimore's 13. Just think Chiefs are too explosive, and they're gonna get it done. Next week on September 26th, we got the Packers at the 49ers. Interesting thing about this game is we really don't know the QB situation on either side. Packers seems like they're not going to have Rodgers at QB, so are they going to start Jordan Love or Blake Bortles? And then San Francisco, it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to give Trey Lance the reins right out of the draft, or if they're going to let Jimmy G keep that starter for 1 more year, let Lance kind of learn behind the scenes, and then take over the season prior. So be interesting to kind of see what decisions go on in that aspect. But I think ultimately the defense is going to define this game. And considering I think 49ers have the better defense, I'm going to choose them winning. Very close game. I'm going to give it a 7-point differential. And I'm going to say the Niners win 24-17. October 3rd, we got Brady and the Bucks going to New England. I think this is going to be his first home game, or not home game. I think this will be his first game back in New England. So I heard tickets for that game are insane. That should be a really, really fun game to watch, just of the crowd reaction to that. I think Brady is going to go in there and remind New England on who is the GOAT of the NFL at quarterback, and I think he's going to put on a show. The Patriots, I feel like, are going to be better than last season, having a full offseason, OTAs, giving Cam some extra time with his team, and getting to learn his receivers better. I think they're going to be a better performing team, but not good enough to compete with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think the Bucs will ultimately be dominant on both sides of the ball. I'm giving I'm giving the Bucs a big 42-24. Pretty big swing there, but the Bucs are just going to be too much for that new New England team. October 10th, we got the Bills at the Chiefs, a replay of last season's AFC championship game. Last time they played, Mahomes had 325 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Josh Allen, I think he had 1 interception and 2 touchdowns and less yards than what Mahomes did. I could be wrong in the yards. I think the winner of this game is going to be the better pass defense. I don't think it's going to be a very rushing heavy game, considering you've got 2 of the better QBs in the NFL going head to head. And I think the Chiefs just have more explosion on offense. Again, this is kind of like talking about the Chiefs and the Ravens game. I don't think the Bills are going to be able to hang in there and take care of that Chiefs offense. So I'm going to give this game a total score of 41-27, pretty high. Bills will probably score a little bit more than there. I feel like that's probably going to be a high offensive game, but I'm going to say probably about a 10-point differential will be kind of like the look there. Next game, October 17th. Got Seahawks going to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Both of these teams have a solid quarterback, so I think the pass defense, whoever is going to have the better pass defense, will probably ultimately win. If we look at last season, Steelers ranked number 3rd, and Seattle ranked 31st on the opposite end of that stat. So I think Steelers are going to have the better pass defense, giving them an advantage. I'm also going to say that I think home field advantage is a big key here too, because if they were playing in Seattle is known for that stadium being very loud and their crowd having a big impact on the game, considering we will have crowds, according to Roger Goodell, next season. So I think them being in Pittsburgh will help the Steelers as well. And I think the biggest thing for the Steelers pass defense is you have to limit DK and Tyler Lockett. I think if they can limit those 2 players, get Russell moving, because I don't think the Seahawks' O-line is going to be any better. Seahawks do have a decent run game, but I don't think that would be good enough, considering Pittsburgh did have a very solid run defense as well. So I'm actually going to give the Steelers the win here, 31-28. So very close game, 3 points. Honestly, if DK and Tyler Lockett get going, this can be the opposite way around. So it's going to be a very close game. Either team, I think, has a chance at winning. October 24th, the Colts are going to go to the Niners. And I think this game is going to rely on what kind of years Carson Wentz going to have. Is he going to be the 2017 almost MVP quarterback that we were hoping he'd be all his full career in Philly? Or is he going to be the 2020 fizzle out, get benched in week 15? If he can have a very good start to the season and continue it, I think that's going to go in the Colts' favor. If not, obviously the Niners will be in favor for that. Defense overall, I think Niners will have the advantage there. Although the Colts do have a dominant running game with Jonathan Taylor back there, and they have T.Y. coming back. They have Michael Pittman, who seemed to be like he could have some good potential. And I think going back to Jonathan Taylor, I think that's going to have to be San Francisco's key on defense, is limiting Taylor. Put the pressure on Carson Wentz to make a play, because if he can't, the Niners are going to win. And I think that they will if they're healthy. Last season, they had a lot of injuries on both sides of the ball, which I think hurt them with their performance throughout the year. So if the Niners can stay healthy up to this point, I will give them the win. I'm going to go about a touchdown differential in score. I'm going to give the Niners 34-27 win over the Colts. Now here's one that I'm really not happy with my pick, but I'm just trying to be realistic. I'm not trying to be biased. And on Halloween, October 31st, the Cowboys go to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Obviously, as an Eagle fan, I want the Cowboys to lose every single game they play. And the less they succeed, the more happier I am. And I just don't think Minnesota's going to get it done. However, if they stay healthy on defense, they might be able to limit the Dallas's offense a little bit better, obviously, than if they weren't. I think with Dak Prescott being back, the Cowboys offense is going to be a lot better than when Andy Dalton was back there. I think it's going to open up the run game for Zeke. I think he's going to have a bounce back year. We're going to get to see like CD with one of the better quarterbacks in the league, I would say, when Dak's healthy. And then you still have Cooper and Gallup, and I don't think Minnesota's defense is going to be able to handle that that offense. I truly believe, and it hurts me to say, I think the Cowboys will have one of the better offenses of the year in 2021-2022. Another thing the Cowboys will have to do defensively is limit Justin Jefferson off of his outstanding rookie season and limit Dalvin Cook. Cowboys ranked 31st in rushing defense for yards last season. So if Cook can have a fantastic game, then the Vikings will probably end up coming out to win, as long as their defense can hold the Cowboys just to enough points so the Vikings can win. But ultimately, I hope I'm wrong on this, but I've got the Cowboys winning 38-31, about a touchdown game, 7 points. I really hope I'm wrong. I hope the Vikings win, but just going off statistics from last season and just kind of like overall thought process, I'm going to give it to Dallas. November 7th, we got the Titans going to LA to take on the Rams. This one's going to be interesting because we got to see King Henry go against one of the better rush defenses in the league. We talked about earlier when we talked about the Rams taking on the Bears. The Rams had one of the better rushing defenses in the league. They had the third best rush defense, while the Titans had the second best rushing offense. So that will be a very fun game, I think, to watch in that aspect. We can see if Derrick Henry, if he can still mow down people like he did the whole 2020 season. Titans also were one of the worst performing passing defenses in the league. They ranked at 28th at the end of the season. And I think with the Rams acquiring Matt Stafford, an elite quarterback who just needs a solid team, I think he's going to take full advantage of the scenario. And I think they're going to spread the ball. I think they're going to spread the ball through the air quite a bit. And with Cam Akers in the running in the backfield, he might be able to make that defense creep up. And then when they creep up, Stafford could go long. And I just think the Rams are going to have a good day throwing through the air against Tennessee. Also, just a reminder, the Rams ranked first in pass defense last season. So I think they're going to hold Tannehill and that Titans offense to a low amount of yards through the air. So I'm going to give this a very close win, though, to the Rams. I'm going to go 3-point differential, giving the Rams 34-31 Tennessee, and LA gets the win at home. November 14th, we've got a division game between the Chiefs, and they are going to LV's, Las Vegas, the Raiders. And last season, they split their division games 1-1, and I think it's going to be similar this year. I think each team will get a win. Last season, the away team was the winner, and this team, I think it's going to be vice versa. I think the home team of each game is going to win, and in this case, I think the Raiders will win. They got a brand new stadium. They're going to be full of, well, granted, it's not brand new because they got it last year, but it's going to be the first season where it's going to be packed with fans. They're getting a DJ club or whatever in one of the end zones. That's going to be interesting. I don't know how the hell that's going to work, but I think it's going to be momentum for Las Vegas. I think they're going to want to perform as best they can for their fans and give them a good game and get out of there with a win. The biggest thing I think here is going to be the battle of the tight ends. I think we're going to see a lot of performance from Travis Kelce and Darren Waller on the other side. So I think they're going to be pretty much the impact players on both sides of the ball, even though Tyreek, obviously, always got to watch out for him. But Travis Kelce actually, I believe, had more targets last season than what Tyreek did. So gonna be interesting to see how this game plays out. As I said before, though, I think Raiders win at home 38-34, 4-point differential. Very close game between these two. I think both times they play this year, but we'll see how this game goes. November 21st, Steelers are going to LA taking on the Chargers this time. Chargers have a new head coach and offensive coordinator, and Herbert is coming off a stellar rookie season. I think he's going to be one of the, if not the best quarterback out of the 2020 draft class. But there's always that thing where rookie has a great rookie season. They come out next season, not perform so well. Ow, God, I bit my cheek. Okay, well, that's not great. These rookies in their second year, sometimes they come out and perform worse than what they did in the rookie season. I mean, we're going to have to see what happens with Herbert. Will he be that player, or will he even be better or consistent as he was last season? If he can do that, I think the Chargers probably win. Another favor or on the flip side of things, a favor for the Steelers, reminding you guys again, their defense was third in passing last season. So the Chargers didn't play against the Steelers all season, so it'll be interesting to see how Herbert plays against that team. And I honestly think this can go either way. Just for defensive purposes, I'm going to give Steelers the win, 31-27, about a 4-point differential. But that game, I think, is going to be close. And like I said, either team can come out the winner. November 28th, we got the Browns against the Ravens, another division game. This game, I think, is going to be another one that has a lot of yards on the ground. The Ravens finished first last season in rushing yards, while the Browns finished third. So a lot of running the ball between these two teams. When it comes to passing defense, the Ravens did a bit better of a job than what the Browns did last year. We'll see how that plays in between. Is Jackson going to be able to have a good year throwing the ball? Will Baker have a repeat season of his statistical performance last year? Ultimately, I think with these guys' series for their division, I think they'll split the wins, similar to how the Chiefs and Raiders will. And I think the home team is going to be winning. So I'm going to choose the Ravens in this game. 34-24, about 10-point difference. December 5th, 49ers going to Seattle for yet another division game. Actually, I think the next 3 or 4 games we're going to talk about are all division, but we'll get to those in a minute. So 49ers going to Seattle. Crowd factor, like I said earlier, is going to be a big thing this year. And Seattle, known for their 12th man on defense, I think that's going to come into play. Ultimately, though, I think the Seahawks are just going to make more plays than what the Niners do, and they will take the win. In this game, 7-point differential, 31-24. I think is going to be the final. Seahawks going to win. December 12th, Bears against the Packers in Lambeau. Every Packer game is going to be I don't think we'll know a better idea of that Packer offense until after June 1st, because that's probably when Packers are going to move on from Rodgers, I would assume. And we probably won't know their starting quarterback until it might be halfway through preseason before we know who's starting for the Packers. We don't know. So any game with them, it's going to be hard to kind of predict. With Justin Fields being his first season in the NFL, we don't know how it's going to go either. I think, honestly, the Bears and Packers are going to be pretty even next season if Rodgers isn't playing. So with that being said, I think the Packers are still going to outplay the Bears, but only by a touchdown or so. I got the Packers winning 24-17, about 7 points difference there. December 19th, the New Orleans Saints are going to Tampa to take on the Bucks. And last year, the Saints swept the series. They beat the Bucks 2 out of 2 times. But this, I don't think, is going to be the case. I believe they played the Saints both times before Tom Brady started getting rolling with that offense. So I think the Bucks are going to end up winning. They might actually sweep the Saints this year, because Saints don't have Breeze. They still have that good defense, but another team that it'll be interesting to see how the QB situation works. I think Tom Brady and the Bucks are going to be looking kind of for revenge against this team to take him out like they took the Bucks out last year. So I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a revenge game both times. And I think the only thing the Bucks are going to need to do is control Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara. So as long as they can handle those two players on offense, I think the Bucks are going to win pretty easy. I'm giving them a 34-21 game, so about 13 points. That's pretty high for a division game, but I don't see the Saints getting anywhere close to the Bucks this year. December 26th, we've got the Washington football team, the worst name in football, against Dallas Cowboys in Dallas. When they played last season, Dak was injured both games by the time their schedule kind of met up with Washington. Like I said earlier, Dallas Cowboys offense is going to be one of the better offenses of the league, I think. I hate to say it. Washington's defense, though, is legit. As long as Dallas's O-line can hold Washington's front seven, I think you give Dak enough time to get the ball to his playmakers, and I think they'll be fine. Washington, another team. There's going to be a lot of teams with interesting QB scenarios this year. they signed Ryan Fitzmagic, and they have another guy that I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm guessing Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to start, I would assume, which, I mean, he's a veteran. He can make big plays, but his consistency is kind of worrying to me, so it'll be interesting to see that Washington offense with him at the helm. I think the Cowboys defense hangs in there enough to get a win, and I'm going to call this a 7-point game. 35-28 Dallas wins. And then the last division game, the last Sunday night game of the year, January 2nd, the Vikings against the Packers in Lambeau. As I said a couple of times, I think this is the third Packers game that we talked about. Their offense is just too much of a concern for me. I think Justin Jefferson or Dalvin Cook will have a big game, either one. And I think the Vikings defense holds strong enough to come out of there with a win. So I'm giving the Vikings a 27-21 win, 6-point differential. And that is my prediction for all the Sunday night games of the 2021-2022 season. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like down below. And also, if you guys want to be notified when we post new videos on the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell. And until next video, guys, take care, and we'll see you then.